Ladies and gentlemen, life, in its essence, is a rhythm, a melody that flows through time, endlessly unfolding. Like the river that carves its way through the land, we too are meant to move, to flow, to keep going. It's tempting to believe that life's purpose is locked in destinations, those grand outcomes we dream of. But let me remind you, the magic of life is not found at the finish line, but in the steps you take to get there. Each moment, each experience, even the challenges, is part of the song. When you face obstacles, and you will remember this, every challenge is a gift in disguise. These trials are not walls but doors. They force us to grow, to adapt, to discover parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, whispers, "Keep going." And what a failure! Failure. It is a mirage, a temporary illusion. The truth is, there is no failure when you see the act of striving as its own reward. Detach yourself from the outcome, and you'll discover that life becomes lighter, freer. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a triumph. You are alive. That alone is a miracle. Your story is still unfolding, and every day you keep going, you honor that miracle. So let's walk together, with courage, with curiosity, and with love for the journey. Remember, the only way out is through, and the only way to truly live is to keep moving. Thank you. Life is not a straight line leading from one fixed point to another, but rather a meandering path that winds, curves, and sometimes doubles back on itself. To see it only as a race toward a goal is to miss the richness and beauty that lies along the way. Every step we take, every moment we breathe, contributes to the essence of our experience. The present moment, often overshadowed by thoughts of the future or memories of the past, holds within it a depth that we rarely take the time to explore. To embrace the journey is to recognize that life is a process, not a destination. When we focus too heavily on outcomes, whether it's achieving success, attaining happiness, or completing a particular task, we risk overlooking the significance of what happens along the way. Consider the artist who creates not for the finished painting, but for the sheer joy of the brushstrokes, the blending of colors, the discovery that occurs in the act of creating. In the same way, life is an ever-unfolding canvas. The process of living, of moving forward, of simply being, is where its true value lies. Think of the child who spends hours building a sandcastle at the edge of the shore. For that child, the joy is not in having a perfect castle, but in the act of building it, the feel of the sand between their fingers, the sound of the waves nearby, the sense of creativity unleashed. And yet, as we grow older, we tend to lose this perspective. We become so preoccupied with the end result that we forget the wonder of the journey itself. We hurry through the steps, eager to reach the goal, and in doing so, we rob ourselves of the profound experiences that occur along the way. The present moment, fleeting as it may seem, is the only time we truly possess. The past has already slipped away, and the future remains uncertain, existing only as a projection of our thoughts and hopes. To focus solely on the future, on reaching a particular milestone, is to live in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, always yearning for what lies ahead. But what if we allowed ourselves to pause and fully engage with the present? What if we found contentment not in the arrival, but in the movement itself? There is a quiet power in noticing the details of the journey. The simple act of walking through a forest, for example, offers countless opportunities for wonder. The way sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground, the rustling of the wind in the trees, the faint scent of earth and moss, all these small, seemingly insignificant moments are what make the experience meaningful. They remind us that life is not about rushing to reach the other side of the forest, but about being present for each step along the trail. This shift in perspective requires us to let go of the notion that progress is always linear. We are conditioned to think in terms of beginnings and endings, of setting goals and achieving them. But life is more like a dance than a journey with a fixed destination. In a dance, the purpose is not to arrive at a particular spot on the floor, but to move, to feel the rhythm, to lose oneself in the motion. The beauty lies in the dance itself, not in where it leads. And yet we resist this idea. We tell ourselves that we will find happiness once we achieve this or that, once we reach a certain point in our lives. We tie our sense of fulfillment to external outcomes of promotion. a relationship, a material possession, believing that these will bring us the peace we seek. But the truth is that fulfillment does not come from reaching a goal, it comes from how we engage with the process of striving. It comes from the small moments of effort, of connection, of growth that occur along the way. To embrace the journey is also to accept that not every step will be easy or joyful. There will be times of struggle, of uncertainty, of doubt. But even these moments are part of the process. They shape us, teach us, and ultimately add depth to our experience. The rough patches, the detours, the unexpected turns, these are not interruptions to the journey, but integral parts of it. They remind us that life is not a straight line, but a series of waves, each one building upon the last. When we begin to see life in this way, we free ourselves from the burden of constantly striving for an imagined future. We learn to find meaning and satisfaction in the here and now, in the simple act of moving forward. The journey itself becomes the reward, and we realize that there is no need to rush. Each moment, no matter how ordinary, holds its own unique beauty, if only we take the time to notice it. Challenges are an inevitable part of life. They arrive unbidden, often at the most inconvenient moments, disrupting our plans and forcing us to confront the unexpected. Yet these very difficulties are what shape us, refine us, and propel us forward. To view challenges merely as obstacles is to misunderstand their role in the broader tapestry of existence. They are not barriers to be feared, but opportunities to grow, adapt, and discover the depths of our potential. In every moment of struggle lies the seed of transformation, waiting to be nurtured by perseverance and insight. Life itself thrives on contrast. Just as the darkness of night gives meaning to the brilliance of day, challenges highlight the moments of ease and success. They create the context in which progress becomes possible. Without adversity, the concept of achievement would lose its significance, for there would be no struggle to overcome, no effort to be made, no triumph to celebrate. It is through grappling with difficulties that we learn resilience, patience, and the ability to endure. Consider the process by which a diamond is formed. It begins as mere carbon, unremarkable, and seemingly ordinary. Only under immense pressure and heat does it transform into a gem of unparalleled brilliance. In much the same way, the challenges we face act as the pressures that shape us. They force us to confront our limitations, to question our assumptions, and to push beyond what we once believed possible. Every hardship endured is a step toward uncovering the strength that lies within us. Challenges are also opportunities for growth in ways that are not immediately visible. They compel us to develop new skills, adopt fresh perspectives, and seek creative solutions. When faced with a problem, we are driven to think critically, to innovate, and to expand our understanding of the world and ourselves. These moments of struggle are not merely tests of our character, they are catalysts for learning and self-discovery. Through them we gain insights that would remain hidden in times of comfort and ease. Moreover, challenges teach us humility and interconnectedness. They remind us that we are not isolated beings, immune to the influence of external forces. When we struggle, we often find ourselves relying on others for support, advice, or encouragement. This reliance fosters a sense of community and shared humanity, reinforcing the idea that we are all part of something larger than ourselves. In helping one another navigate difficulties, we strengthen the bonds that connect us and deepen our understanding of what it means to be human. Even failure, often seen as the ultimate proof of inadequacy, is a necessary part of growth. Failure is not the end, but a point of reflection, a moment to pause, reassess, and redirect our efforts. It is through failure that we learn the most profound lessons, for it forces us to confront our weaknesses and adapt to new circumstances. Each setback carries with it the potential for a comeback, and each disappointment lays the groundwork for future success. The path to mastery, whether in a skill, a career, or a personal endeavor, is paved with the stones of failure and the wisdom gained from them. Challenges also have a way of revealing truths about ourselves that we might otherwise overlook. In times of difficulty, we are stripped of pretense and confronted with the core of who we are. Our values, priorities, and inner strengths come into sharp focus, allowing us to better understand what truly matters to us. This clarity, though often born of hardship, becomes a guiding light for future decisions and actions. There is also a profound beauty in the process of overcoming challenges. The satisfaction that comes from persevering through difficulties and emerging stronger is unparalleled. It is a reminder of our capacity to endure, to grow, and to thrive in the face of adversity. Each victory, no matter how small, serves as evidence of our resilience and determination. These moments of triumph are not just personal milestones, they are affirmations of the human spirit's ability to rise above circumstances. In nature, we see countless examples of this principle. The tree that grows on a rocky hillside, its roots finding purchase in the smallest crevices, demonstrates the power of persistence. Despite harsh conditions, it stands tall, a testament to the strength that comes from enduring and adapting to its environment. Similarly, the caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly, a process that requires immense effort and struggle, symbolizes the potential for growth and renewal inherent in every challenge. To face challenges with courage and curiosity is to embrace life in its fullest form. Adversity is not something to be avoided or resented, but something to be accepted as an integral part of the human experience. It is through these trials that we discover the depth of our capacity for change and the breadth of our potential for achievement. Every challenge is an invitation to rise, to expand, and to evolve beyond the confines of who we once were. The rhythm of life is an intricate, unceasing flow, a pulse that connects every living thing to the larger patterns of existence. It is in this rhythm that we find the essence of what it means to keep going. From the moment of birth, the steady beat of the heart mirrors the fundamental truth that life itself thrives on continuity. There is no pause, no true standstill, even in stillness. There is motion, a subtle vibration of energy that propels all things forward. To align oneself with this rhythm is to embrace the fundamental nature of existence, to persist, to move, to live. Consider the natural world, where this rhythm is most evident. Rivers, for instance, do not cease their flow simply because they encounter obstacles. When a boulder blocks their path, they do not resist or retreat. Instead, they find a way around, over, or through. The river's journey is unrelenting, yet it is not rigid or forceful. It adapts, changes course, and reshapes itself, all while remaining true to its purpose. This same principle applies to us as individuals. Life's rhythm calls us to keep moving, to navigate obstacles not with resistance but with fluidity and grace. Seasons provide another example of this unending cycle. Each year, the earth transitions through spring, summer, autumn, and winter, a rhythm as ancient as time itself. In this cycle, there is no permanence, no stagnation. The barren stillness of winter gives way to the renewal of spring, just as hardship eventually yields to joy. These patterns remind us that life is not static, it is a dynamic interplay of beginnings and endings, growth and decay, progress and retreat. To resist this rhythm is to fight against the very nature of life itself, a struggle that often leads to frustration and despair. The human body, too, is governed by rhythm. The heart beats in a steady cadence, sending life-sustaining blood to every corner of the body. The breath follows its own pattern, a constant inhalation and exhalation that sustains us from moment to moment. Even in sleep, our bodies are in motion, repairing, regenerating, and preparing for the day to come. This inherent rhythm is a reminder that persistence is not merely an abstract concept, it is woven into the fabric of our being. We are quite literally built to keep going. Yet in the face of life's challenges, it is easy to feel as though we are out of sync with this rhythm. Moments of difficulty can feel like disruptions, as though the music has stopped and left us in silence. But the truth is that the rhythm never ceases, it is always there, even when we cannot hear it clearly. The heartbeat continues, the breath flows, and the world turns. To reconnect with this rhythm is to find strength in its constancy, to trust that life's pulse will carry us forward, even when the way ahead seems uncertain. This rhythm is not just an individual experience, it is a universal phenomenon that binds us to one another and to the world around us. The ebb and flow of tides, the migration of birds, the opening and closing of flowers, all these are expressions of the same underlying pulse that drives our own lives. To recognize this interconnectedness is to understand that our persistence is part of a larger whole. Each step we take, each challenge we overcome, contributes to the ongoing dance of existence. There is a profound wisdom in aligning ourselves with this rhythm. When we resist the natural flow of life, clinging to what is comfortable or familiar, we create tension and struggle. But when we learn to move with the rhythm, To adapt and change as it does, we find a sense of ease and harmony. This does not mean that life becomes free of difficulty. Rather, it means that we learn to navigate those difficulties with a sense of purpose and grace. We become like the river, finding our way through the landscape of existence without losing sight of our destination. This rhythm also teaches us patience. Just as the seasons take time to change, so too do the circumstances of our lives. Growth is not instantaneous, it unfolds gradually, often in ways that are imperceptible at first. To keep going is to trust in this process, to believe that each step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the greater flow of our journey. It is a lesson in endurance, a reminder that even the smallest actions can have profound impacts over time. In this sense, the rhythm of life is a source of both strength and solace. It is a constant presence, a reminder that we are never truly alone in our struggles. The same pulse that drives us forward animates the world around us, connecting us to something greater than ourselves. This connection is a source of resilience, a wellspring of energy that sustains us when our own reserves feel depleted. Ultimately, to align with life's rhythm is to accept its dual nature, its moments of ease and its periods of challenge, its forward momentum and its occasional pauses. It is to understand that persistence is not about forcing our way through difficulties, but about finding the flow that carries us through them. This rhythm, ever present and unyielding, calls us to keep going, to remain part of the dance that is life. Detachment from outcome is a concept that invites us to shift our focus from the destination to the process, from what we hope to achieve to the act of striving itself. This does not mean abandoning ambition or ceasing to care about goals. Rather, it means releasing the mental and emotional weight that comes with clinging to specific results. When we become too attached to outcomes, we bind our happiness and sense of self-worth to something that is often beyond our control. This attachment can lead to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of incompleteness, even when progress is made. Detachment, on the other hand, offers a path to freedom and fulfillment. At its core, detachment is about surrendering the illusion of control. We live in a world that constantly reinforces the idea that success is defined by achieving certain benchmarks, wealth, status, recognition, or material possessions. We are taught to measure our worth by what we accomplish and to view failure as a reflection of our inadequacy. But this perspective is fundamentally flawed because it assumes that we can always dictate the outcomes of our efforts. The truth is that life is unpredictable, shaped by countless factors beyond our influence. Weather changes, markets shift, people act unpredictably, and unforeseen events occur. To tie our happiness to a specific outcome is to build our foundation on sand. This perspective can be seen in the practices of great artists, athletes, and thinkers throughout history. Consider the sculptor who spends months chiseling a block of marble into a masterpiece. The sculptor does not know from the outset how the final piece will look. There are no guarantees that it will turn out as envisioned. Yet the sculptor pours themselves into the process, finding fulfillment in the act of creation, rather than in the finished product. This detachment from the outcome allows for a kind of freedom, an openness to experimentation and exploration that might not be possible if perfection were the sole focus. In daily life, detachment allows us to navigate challenges and setbacks with greater resilience. When we are fixated on a particular result, failure can feel devastating, a confirmation of our worst fears. But when we detach from outcomes, we see setbacks for what they truly are: opportunities to learn and grow. A failed project is no longer a catastrophe, but a lesson. A missed goal is not a dead end, but a chance to reevaluate and adjust. This mindset transforms failure from something to be feared into something to be embraced as part of the journey. Detachment also brings a sense of inner peace. When we are free from the constant pressure to achieve specific results, we can approach life with greater ease and presence. The anxiety of what if begins to fade, replaced by a calm acceptance of what is. This does not mean that we stop striving or dreaming. It means that our striving is no longer fueled by fear or desperation, but by curiosity and passion. We become like the musician who plays not to impress an audience, but for the sheer love of the music itself. This state of detachment can deepen our relationships as well. When we let go of expectations about how others should behave or what they should give us, we open ourselves to more authentic connections. We no longer approach relationships with a transactional mindset, seeking only what we can gain. Instead, we engage with others from a place of generosity and acceptance, valuing the relationship for its own sake rather than for what it might yield. In the broader context of life, detachment allows us to see our place in the larger tapestry of existence. It helps us understand that we are not isolated individuals battling against an uncaring universe, but part of an interconnected web of experiences, actions, and consequences. Each effort we make contributes to this greater whole, even if we cannot see the immediate results. A kind word spoken today may ripple outward in ways we will never know. A small act of perseverance may inspire others in ways we cannot imagine. By detaching from specific outcomes, we trust in this larger process, finding meaning in the act of contributing rather than in the recognition we might receive. Detachment also fosters creativity and innovation. When we are no longer constrained by rigid expectations, we are free to explore new ideas, take risks, and embrace uncertainty. This freedom can lead to breakthroughs and discoveries that might have been impossible under the weight of perfectionism or fear of failure. The scientist who experiments for the joy of discovery, the writer who crafts a story without worrying about its reception, the entrepreneur who launches a venture out of passion, rather than profit or awe, are examples of how detachment can unlock our full potential. Ultimately, detachment is a practice, not a destination. It requires mindfulness, self-awareness, and a willingness to let go of deeply ingrained habits of thought. It asks us to trust in the process of life, to find value in the act of striving, and to release the need to control what lies beyond our reach. In doing so, we discover a deeper sense of freedom, fulfillment, and connection, a way of being that honors both our individuality and our place in the greater whole. Resilience is a remarkable force within the human spirit, an ability to endure, adapt, and thrive in the face of adversity. It is not a fixed trait, but a dynamic quality, something that grows stronger with use and practice. At its core, resilience is about more than just survival. It is about learning to transform hardship into strength, challenge into wisdom, and loss into a deeper appreciation for life. To develop resilience is to recognize that setbacks, while painful, are not the end of the road, but rather an integral part of the journey. They are the proving grounds where character is forged and potential is realized. Resilience begins with perspective. When we face difficulties, it is easy to see them as insurmountable, as walls too high to climb or storms too fierce to endure. But perspective allows us to step back and view these challenges in the broader context of our lives. It reminds us that no storm lasts forever, that no wall is without cracks or footholds. The challenges that seem overwhelming in the moment are often the very experiences that shape us in profound and meaningful ways. They teach us lessons we could not learn in times of ease, stretching our capabilities and expanding our understanding of ourselves. Adversity, while uncomfortable, is a natural and necessary part of life. Just as muscles grow stronger through the stress of exercise, so too does our resilience grow through the trials we face. Each challenge overcome adds to our reservoir of inner strength, giving us the confidence to face future difficulties with greater courage and resolve. It is through this process of struggle and growth that we come to understand our own capacity for endurance, discovering strengths we may not have known we possessed. Resilience is also deeply rooted in adaptability. Life is unpredictable, a series of twists and turns that often lead us in directions we did not anticipate. To be resilient is to be flexible, to bend without breaking, to adjust our plans and expectations in response to changing circumstances. This does not mean abandoning our goals or giving up on our dreams. Rather, it means finding new ways to pursue them, even when the path forward is unclear. Adaptability allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with a sense of purpose and creativity, transforming obstacles into opportunities for growth. A crucial aspect of resilience is the ability to maintain hope, even in the face of despair. Hope is not blind optimism or a denial of reality. It is the belief that better days are possible, that setbacks are temporary, and that we have the strength to overcome them. Hope provides the emotional fuel that keeps us moving forward, reminding us that our efforts are not in vain. It is a beacon that guides us through the darkest moments, illuminating the way toward renewal and recovery. Resilience is not a solitary endeavor. It is often cultivated through connection and community. In times of difficulty, the support of others can be a lifeline, offering comfort, encouragement, and perspective. Relationships provide a sense of belonging and remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. They also give us opportunities to offer support in return, reinforcing our own resilience by allowing us to contribute to the well-being of others. This mutual exchange of strength and care creates a web of resilience that is far greater than the sum of its parts. Another key element of resilience is the ability to find meaning in hardship. Difficult experiences, while painful, often carry valuable lessons or insights. They can clarify our values, deepen our empathy, and strengthen our sense of purpose. Finding meaning does not diminish the pain of adversity, but it gives us a framework for understanding it, a way to integrate it into the larger narrative of our lives. This process of meaning-making is a powerful tool for healing and growth, allowing us to emerge from challenges with a renewed sense of direction and possibility. Resilience also involves self-compassion, the ability to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding in moments of struggle. Too often we are our own harshest critics, judging ourselves for perceived failures or weaknesses. But self-compassion reminds us that imperfection is part of being human, that we are not defined by our setbacks, but by how we respond to them. It encourages us to be gentle with ourselves, to acknowledge our efforts, and to recognize that resilience is not about never falling, but about always getting back up. Cultivating resilience is a lifelong journey, one that requires patience and persistence. It involves building habits and practices that support our well-being, such as mindfulness, physical activity, and maintaining a balanced perspective. It means setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care, recognizing that resilience is not about pushing ourselves to the point of exhaustion, but about sustaining our energy and focus over the long term. Resilience is also strengthened by a sense of gratitude, the ability to appreciate the good in our lives even amidst hardship. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a sense of abundance and possibility. It reminds us that even in the most challenging times, there are moments of beauty, kindness, and connection that sustain us. This perspective not only enhances our resilience, but also enriches our experience of life, allowing us to find joy and meaning even in the face of adversity.